to High Peaks Distillery today.
Our first distillery tour.
Our first distillery tour.
Ever.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So this is a local craft distillery that we're going to. It is right up at Lake George, only like, what, 5-10 minutes away from our house. We've never been there before, surprisingly, but...
We own one of their bottles.
Yeah, we have one of their bottles. Which
Night
one?
Spirit. Something
Is it called?
Spirit.
Is that the one with the owl on the
Yep.
front of it? Yeah, we own one of their bottles of bourbon. We're going to go see what they offer, kind of, I guess, see the process of their distilling.
Yeah, they're in-house, so they don't source.
Yeah.
So they'll be kind of
So yeah, we could probably, are we going to be sampling some stuff too, you think?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
That's what you're supposed to do.
So yeah, so that's what we are doing. First, we're actually stopping for a quick snack so that we have some food in our stomach before we go and drink. So we will see you guys when we get there. So we're having a special tour today, but they're open year-round, so you can come year-round and check them out. And I'm not sure what days they normally do tours. We'll find that all out and put it in the description below.
I've never been up any of them yet.
Up there.
Yeah, it's really cute in here. It's decorated really
These are cute
nicely.
little boxes that you guys have going on too, huh?
Yes. So these boxes are designed for the whiskey, with the glass to go on the top.
Oh, okay.
And to fit right in.
Oh, that's awesome.
But look at the beautiful color.
I know. It's gorgeous.
It's a color that doesn't just happen by accident.
But it's a very different product than what you'll find other places.
Yeah, and you guys are all in-house. No sourcing.
No. So,
No.
Jen can fill you in.
Yes, this is what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
So you have Lake George water, some of the purest in the country. And we're surrounded by these mountains, granite. So it's an alluvial valley. It's a spring-fed lake with lots of aquifers and tributaries.
Mm-hmm.
So where does your water start?
Up high.
And it comes down.
Mm-hmm.
So think about millions of years of geology.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes through the granite and the minerals and the sand, drop by drop, down into the alluvial valley and up in our beautiful lake, and now it's here.
And it ends up right there.
Right there.
That's awesome.
Right? This is the culmination of a 10-year project. The tasting room has been open now just over a year.
Okay.
We've been barreling and playing mad scientist for a few years.
That's it.
Right? Years of research, sourcing,
Yep.
the persistence,
Of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
the perseverance for the passion. Right?
Yep.
Perseverance for the passion.
It's a copper pot still, single column.
Sorry.
So you've been to other distilleries where you've seen the column stills that have a bunch of the windows in it. So in each window there's the plate.
Yep.
So it goes up, hits the plates, comes down, and you just keep running and running and running. Can't do that with this. Run it once all the way through. It comes down, and Aaron,
Yep.
stands up here, and he goes right there to where it's coming through, and he actually is testing and smelling where the heads end, where the hearts begin, and then when the tails come in. So he knows when to make what are called the cuts. So narrow cuts, and then we'll do another stripping run, another spirit run.
I mean, it all begins with fermentation, which
show.
takes place at the brewery. In the case of single malt, it's beer without the hops, about an 8 to 10% alcohol beer. In the case of bourbon that's corn. At least 51%. Ours is 70% corn, and that's a mash that's done at the brewery. And in the case of rye, that would be a rye mash. So that's our starting material. We have a recipe. We do our mash. We make our sugar water. We ferment over there, and then it gets trucked over here to where we just gravity feed it right here inside the still. So yeah, then we take this crude fermentable material called wash or mash, whichever whatever product you're talking about. So then we begin to heat it up. And then once the whole still gets heated up, vapor can then cross over. You'll see it condense as it cools off. It will trickle back down, it will heat up, cool down, until eventually the vapor is able to make its way over. So in the beginning of the run, you know, we're on our first distillation, we're probably about 191 degrees as a good rolling boil on like a 10% alcohol beer. And the temperature will slowly start to go up as the alcohol in the still goes down, because we're just evaporating all the alcohol off. We're capturing it, and it comes all the way over here to this device. It's called the condenser. On one pathway, there's cold water, and on the other pathway is where your distillate comes off. This chills the steam back into a liquid so that it can flow off through here, through, this is called the parrot, so we can bob this hydrometer for live alcohol readings, and yeah, from there we can divert into any vessel that we want. All of your alcohol and flavor compounds and the things that you want are now over there in one of our collection vessels. Generally, I collect in this far vessel over here. Yeah, and now I have this 25 to 30% alcohol crude distillate. It's called low wines, is what they call it. It's nothing you want to drink. Like I said, from the first gallon to the last gallon, it all gets collected in that container. No cuts are made, and these low wines have to be reprocessed. In traditional Scottish style, we do double distillation for the most part. Once we're done with the stripping run, we're going to empty it out, we're going to load it back up, do that again. Usually 3 or 4 stripping runs will get me enough volume to mostly fill the still. So after we do 3 or 4 of these stripping runs where we're just pulling all the low wines out, all the low wines get pumped back in the still and they get heated up. Now this is called a spirit run, because that's where we're going to take actual drinkable liquor.
What's your goal to get like barrels to be older than what? What are you looking for?
What I'm looking for, I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love a 10, 12-year-old single.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm just going to be happy to where, like, for Cloud Splitter, all of it is like in the 4 to 6 year range. Okay. Get into some barrels.
Yeah, let's
that'd be cool. We get to taste now. We get the behind the scenes tour.
That's a little icy, so just kind of watch stuff there. Yeah, it's that. Here you go.
Oh wow, look at this. You can smell it.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's so cool.
It's probably the best. That's probably the best part of the job.
Wow.
Coming down and then
immediately, that's what I smelled.
Murdy, do we have some sample glasses down here?
I'll probably have to.
Why don't you grab a few up?
This is so cool.
So what's unique down here, we've got about 200 barrels aging. One of the issues with starting a whiskey distillery is that this stuff has to age. And High Peaks Distilling has some cornerstones of quality that we follow that are kind of part of our guiding sort of principles. One is that everything that we sell is aged for at least 2 years. So nothing younger than 2 years, which entitles us, the TTB allows us to then label everything we sell as straight whiskey. So the word straight, where it comes from or why it's associated, means it's at least aged for 2 years. So you'll notice all of our things say straight whiskey, straight, you know, bourbon, that kind of stuff. So, of course, that means you got to make it and sit on it. Now, what we find is basically 2 years is good. It's a lot better than it is at 1.5 years. But oftentimes, you know, it's a 3-year-old blended with a 5-year-old with a little bit of a 2-year-old. And you always have to put the youngest date on the bottle. So even if we put only 10% of a 2-year-old in there, it still has to say 2-year-old. So, so that's a key thing with it. The other thing is everything that High Peaks makes or sells, we've made. That's another, you know, part of what makes the quality of what we're doing different. And the reason for that is our profile. We're looking for a very specific profile with, you know, with our malt whiskey. You know, where it's really truly an American malt whiskey. It is not, we use a lot of the same techniques they use in Scotland, but we also, have a lot of these American influences in it that make it, in some ways, a pretty complex product, because you have all those really magical things that you find in Scotland with, some of the peat aromas, some of the body, but you also have these American components that add some complexity with the, especially with the newer oak that American malt whiskeys have. A little bit about tasting, and Jane will probably go into this with you. Never mind what John Wayne taught you about drinking whiskey. You don't shove it back and breathe out so the ethanol goes away. That's the stuff that kind of makes you cringe. And you're only left with the conjugars, these nice flavors that round it out. So, it's got this nice complex wood flavor.
Yeah, that's what I can
It's
get
not
right off
just
the bat.
peat. It's not just cherry. It's a little bit of everything. So by using different kinds of barrels, different ages of barrels, you get all these different layers of oak in that you wouldn't normally have.
A few drops of water.
Yeah, when I first started, everything was more like an old-fashioned. I wanted to kind of like slowly get into really liking bourbon, and I wanted to put a little sugar in there,
Yeah.
But now that I have been drinking it a lot more neat, because I want to taste what's in it.
Yeah.
It's not the smell of a cigar, but it's like being in a cigar room with that nice leather chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, cigar, smell this. Cigar. This is actually in the blend, right?
Yeah.
This is actually in the blend. I actually chose that barrel because it was a somewhat heavily peated, but in new oak as well. As soon as I popped it, I'm like, oh my god, this is like a cigar.
Yeah. New York State is a great area to grow rye. And so what happens is the rye that's grown here, there's a lot of character to the rye. It's not just big grain Monsanto. Land-raised grain comes from, a grain that has grown up in New York State for hundreds of years. And so what's fun with that is it not only grows well here, and it has been grown here pre-pesticides, all of that, but it has some really great flavors to it.
It's
There's
like
rich flavors. And
cinnamon bomb right away.
It's pepper, it's spice.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's a...
And again, it's young. Now, you could imagine this in another year or two.
I like it now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is good now.
Give me a bottle.
It's getting some
wow.
good color.
Yeah.
Wow.
And for a year and a half, it's got,
It's 90% rye, 10% barley. It's more, it's styled like a Pennsylvania rye. Yeah, no corn to blur the line into bourbon territory.
How many bottles does a barrel typically? How many can you get out of that style?
Obviously depends on size. You got a 30 here, you got a 53 here, and it depends on alcohol content too. Obviously, the lower alcohol you go into the barrel, the less bottles you're going to get because it's been watered down more. But I would say anywhere from high 200s into low 300s.
How full? So with that laying there, how full is it?
It's a 53 gallon. I fill it right to the brim.
So it's filled right to the brim.
Okay. You lose about 5%, up to 5% right away after you fill especially a new oak barrel that's never had liquid in it. So within the first couple weeks, you'll lose 5% right to the wood, and then you lose like 1 to 2%.
Distilled water for rinsing and cleansing your palate. Before you begin and in between.
Okay.
A nice gurgle and a swish in the mouth and round the gums. Well, you should always try everything in its true form with a clean mouth. Right, so we do it by sugar content because sugar changes your palate. So the first one is the single malt made in the Speyside with the heavy peated mash, peated barley. And you should always be able to see the legs coming down the glass. And you should always smell. You should always smell the peat. Can you smell the peat? Mm-hmm. Alright, so in the mouth and round the gums. The ladies' palates are a little bit more delicate. Any good whiskey or bourbon, you should never go, you should never burn your nose. It should never grab the back of your throat like a vice. So if you give it a minute, you just feel it here, and then straight down, the warming.
My gums are nice and warm because I switched it around.
Yeah.
Yeah, my gums are warm too. I feel it comes on afterwards.
That's the legs on the bourbon.
So it's such a gorgeous
Can
color
you see
too.
it?
Yep. So in bourbon you call it legs, but in wine you call it what do you call it in wine when you
Peaks.
peaks?
Peaks, okay. Yeah, it's just the alcohol clinging to the glass. And
Yeah. I mean, these are gorgeous glasses.
Corn. Smell that corn.
All day.
Yeah.
Right?
I got some cinnamon in there too.
Yeah.
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 But you should, in a bourbon, I think you should always be able to smell the
forward.
corn.
Yeah.
Right? And that is the second one.
The night spirit.
So very different from the single malt in the back.
Again, the sweetness.
Didn't that surprise you just how much, when I said to you the persistence
Of.
and the passion, the perseverance, when you went downstairs, you saw that.
Absolutely.
The mad scientist
Yes. Yep.
and the
Downstairs.
the accumulation of the years.
Yeah.
You could smell the
Yeah.
passion.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it was.
The accumulation of years and the two of them getting together. Because this is not just a regular little whiskey and bourbon house.
Distilled?
Yeah, I still have barrel number 1.
Do you really?
Yeah, it's all the way in that back corner.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Still there. So now we come to
Sugar.
the Sugar Moon.
This is a nice.
And this is our American bourbon with Hidden Valley, best grade, dark Adirondack maple syrup. It's as thick as honey. It's
Probably
absolutely.
amazing on
Look at the
pancakes.
color.
It's beautiful.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Do I smell apple in that Sugar Moon?
You know, there's almost like an orange or apple note. I was just going to say I've been tasting this bottle recently. I don't know if it was that type of syrup or a varietal or...
Like I just like.
There's almost a citrus fruit note. Here, let me get the latest batch.
Yeah. Like I smell a very
That's
like.
like candy. That's so good.
Right. So just take your time and let it kind of
Oh,
glug its way down. Take your time.
that's so good.
Yeah, try the latest
So this
batch.
one right here. This is the latest batch.
But
I just bottled it
the
yesterday.
slight.
the second
Yeah.
one, the first one, I smell apple.
Yeah,
The second one, I smell cherries.
Really?
Cherries.
Do you not smell cherries
I drank
in
it
that?
already.
I smell cherries in that.
Cherries. He's so fabulous. This gentleman from Hidden Valley Farms, I swear to God, he
Yeah, they're
has
good
his
people.
own mad scientist.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's so passionate about his maple syrup.
Yeah, I get a little orange, a little cherry.
Yeah. This one, this one's really good.
It's like heaven.
It is. I taste cherries, but I also taste red licorice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
okay.
really happy the way this batch came out.
All right, so we just finished up our like personal tour in High Peaks Distillery.
Thank you, High Peaks. You guys were amazing.
You guys were so hospitable.
It was amazing meeting John, Jan, Aaron, and Greg.
Yeah. So like great people.
That basement is amazing.
There's the distillery right there. If you can kind of see it. There we go. Change the lighting a little bit. But we literally spent the whole evening here. We tasted some amazing things.
From the barrel.
we
everything.
were able to taste right from the barrel. Like for our very first distillery tour, I don't know if you can beat that.
They knocked it out of the
They
park.
knocked it out of the park.
So stay tuned.
Yes.
We are actually going to be coming back when they're running the distillery.
Yeah, so you can see that.
We're going to hang out with Aaron, Greg, John, Jan, everybody again.
It
So
was so fun. I'm so glad we were
then we're
able
going to
do
have
this.
dinner at their restaurant right down the street.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed this. Stick around for more videos to come. Hit that subscribe button down below.
Don't forget to
Subscribe
follow
our
Wicked
channel.
Bourbon Kid.
Follow Wicked Bourbon Kid. Follow High Peaks Distillery. And yeah, we will see you again real soon. Take care.
Bye.